called Big Cat.
Deion.
Hey, Deion.
You ready for football?
I am.
It's another season, baby.
Pro Football Show.
All right, Deion, showtime. Football is back.
Welcome to the Pro Football Show presented by the Chevy Silverado. Week in and week out, the Silverado brings it with unstoppable grit and determination. It is big game week. We're all over the country. We've got Deion in Colorado as always. We've got Dave and Stephen Cheah in Arizona. I'm in New York. I could go into labor at any point, guys. Frank the Tank's right off the camera. He said he would drive me to the hospital, so we're going to make it through. But most importantly, Deion, your guy Dave is back. I know it's been a few weeks.
Hey,
and you guys have been chopping it up.
Guy.
Weeks.
I miss my guy.
Months.
No, it's been months.
I've been following.
Forever.
Listen, I've been following Deion abroad. He's back to like when I was a kid. You turn on TV, you turn on the internet. It's prime time. Deion, he's everywhere. He's making the news.
You're everywhere too, my man. I mean,
No,
you are lighting
not
it up.
Colorado.
No, you're lighting it up
You're not
everywhere.
in Colorado, everywhere but Colorado. You're in Milwaukee, right?
I was in Milwaukee. Yeah. I was in Milwaukee. I'm traveling a lot. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I love to see it. I did see. I believe you've stole only one of our guys at Michigan. So I'm keeping like a fairly close watch on you because I'm all for, listen, I'm what do they say, skull buffs or whatever. I'm rooting for Deion and the Buffs. You start coming after my guys, we may have a little bit of an issue.
Well, yeah, but I appreciate Dave. He did check me. He did check me in the only fashion that Dave could check me when I was doing my restaurant reviews. He said, I've seen that before somewhere. I said, yeah, I stole it from you. Okay, all right, I stole it from you. So I don't quite do it the way he does it, as his authenticity is unbelievable. But I try my best because I give everybody a good grade.
You're making friends out there. You're kissing babies, making friends. I saw you. He's like you said, I figured you weren't a big skier growing up. He's got the crazy fit on Vail.
Yeah.
You didn't. Did you put on skis?
No, I can't ski. I got 8 toes. I'm not skiing. I did the snowmobiles. I did that.
I did
Now
like
you ain't seen too many brothers in the lift going way up there in the air. That ain't happening. That ain't gonna happen. Gonna happen.
I did like the video of you with Lil Wayne and you were wearing ski bibs, and my first thought was there was no way Deion was putting on skis or a snowboard, but you looked good in the ski bibs, and that's what mattered.
Well, I had just come out of a snowstorm in Dallas. That's where I was coming from, and I got a plane to get me out. Well, darn everybody plane up whatever it was. They got me out. They landed right in Boulder. It was unbelievable. So I came right there because Wayne was waiting for me at the complex. So that's what that was about. That's why I was in that gear, because it was a darn snowstorm in Texas that nobody could get out.
Yeah, Dave's right, though. You're going viral all the time. And Dave, Stephen Cheah has been sitting in on the show. A lot of guys have been sitting in for you. I don't know if you've paid attention to your record, but they've actually done a much better job for you this year than they did last season.
Yeah, well, it's good to see. I mean, I've been following the show, obviously making my own picks. So it's it's been an interesting season. Jump back in here for the.
Yeah, and Deion, you won everything. We know that. Dan's not here, so he can't make fun of you.
Well, because I am the guy who mentally gets into his kitchen a little bit. So you remove me from the equation, and he can concentrate.
Yeah, that is true. There's been a lot more of a bromance between the guests whenever you're not sitting there, but I have a feeling we might get into it a little bit with this. Obviously, a lot of things have happened since the last time we did the show, one of those being Tom Brady officially retiring for good, guys. And I know, Deion, we talked a couple weeks ago about where you thought he may end up. Brandon Walker brought up the retirement thing. We all kind of made fun of him a little bit, but Tom Brady officially done with the game.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy he walked away on his terms. I'm sure he wanted to walk away a winner, but the man is a winner. He is all of that. I just wanted him to, it's hard to figure out the way you want to walk away. I think Jerome Bettis is the only one who did it in its perfection, and walked away and never looked back. It's hard to get to that point. Tom is walking away and walking into a wonderful new career, and I'm sure he's going to be dominant in that as he was dominant on the field.
Dave, you think he'll be a Patriot? You think he'll sign that one-day contract?
Yeah, I think they'll. I mean, Kraft said he'll do whatever he can to do it, so I do think he will. He probably, like Deion was just saying, he had the opportunity for that perfect retirement after the Bucs won last year, And then he had all the stuff in his personal life, and it was just, I think, a really tough down year for him. But no one will remember that in the long run. You'll remember his overall dominance, his run as the greatest quarterback of all time, and he'll go down as, you know, one of those New England legends. Bobby Orr, Bill Russell, Larry Bird, David Ortiz, and Tom Brady. You know, the Rushmore, and I hope we do the one-day thing. It's crazy. It's such. I sometimes view like Boston athletes, and we had a run, but Barstool basically started when he came to town. And sometimes I remember when Gronk left or retired, it's the company has been around for his entire career. And it kind of stamps time a little bit. But it was the right time for him. And you know, I don't see him in the booth, to be honest. I see him almost to be too good for the booth. But we'll see. He'll do whatever he wants to do.
And Stephen Cheah, I know.
He's got something crazy, like $375 million. He's going to be in the booth. It was announced today that he's going to start his career with Fox. I think it's going to be interesting because a lot of these guys got the bag, and now we see even like CBS is kind of having buyer's remorse. Deion, you got Tony Romo, and I mean he struck while the iron was hot, and good for him because he's getting, you know, $3 billion basically to.
Well, only quarterbacks get that. Let's just get that straight. I don't know why they think only quarterbacks can see the game in the way that they can see it, but only quarterbacks. There's no other positions lining up to get that, and they're not lining these guys up to get it. So the quarterback is the most visible guy, and oftentimes he's articulate. He's a good-looking guy, and they get the bag. So that's what it is. It's not fair to the other guys, but it is what it is.
And
it is a little weird. He's getting that. I don't know how they test them or whatever. But yeah, I mean, how do they even know he's going to be any good at this?
They don't.
So.
But they know people
put the right people
in.
around him.
Yeah, they know people.
Well, they just they just want you to talk football. They don't give a darn about the little stupid stuff other people care about. I mean, that's why Barstools is effective. You guys are just unapologetically who you are, and that's what America wants right now. They don't want people sitting up there trying to talk like Walter Cronkite. They want somebody to just talk football, just talk X's and O's, talk ins and outs, just talk football. That's all they want.
Yeah, and
I think I'm in the minority. I think he's going to be really good.
Why do you say you're in the minority?
A lot of people are just like, oh, he's getting paid so much money, he's going to stink. I feel like that's a common narrative.
Name somebody.
I feel like that's a common narrative. Like a lot of people are just
no names.
No, that's not
Do you think he's having universal approval?
We haven't heard him. How do you know if he's going to be good or bad? I mean, different. I don't think Romo's good. I think Aikman's great. Peyton Manning, he's more like a little, humor. I don't know. You got to see how they do in the booth. I never thought Romo was good.
Yeah, no, and Romo's catching a lot of heat now, but I agree with you, Cheah. I think he's going to be good. That's probably wishful thinking. But, Cheah, I wanted to ask you, have you thought about buying that sand at all? I mean, he did retire technically as a Buck. Have you thought about buying the sand?
He did. And the story was he was going to come back to the Bucs or retire, which is nice personally for me.
I'm surprised he didn't go San Fran. I thought he would play 1 year there. That seems like with their injury situation, the absolute perfect setup. And that team is loaded, so they probably would make a pretty significant run. I mean, they made it this far with Purdy, so that surprised me. It's his hometown. I think he just hit him times up.
He played there for the second time ever in his career this year, and that whole week he was talking about glowingly how awesome it was to play in front of friends and family. It was a terrible game. They got blown out. But he was just talking about what a great experience it was, how many
I don't think San Fran would do that.
Why?
I think it was set because it would set them back because you're putting all your marbles on an older guy, and it's a franchise that's still going and on the rise, and they got to strike right now. I just know John Lynch.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I just didn't think he's the kind of guy that would do that. I think he thinks the longer term than that, and really kind of developing the quarterback they got, the one that just got hurt, the guy, Trey Lance. I think they got to get him. They got to figure it out.
The reason I thought it would work is because of the injuries. Once Purdy got hurt, he's out 6 months, so you can basically say he's still our guy. We did Brady 1 year to let our quarterbacks get healthy, figure out what we got, but clearly not. Yeah.
Speaking of all those injuries, the last time we saw the Eagles play, we might as well just get into the big game preview. The Eagles had a very easy route in comparison to what the Chiefs had to do to get to this upcoming Sunday because the 49ers were just broken. Every single quarterback was dead. We didn't know what was going to happen. So when you look at this game right now, we're going to just preview the big game between the Eagles and the Chiefs. We know Dan's not here. He does have a future on the Eagles, so we know where he's going to ride. But Deion, the Eagles all year. We looked at them. We looked at Jalen Hurts. I know you're very high on him and you think he should be the MVP. But when we saw them play throughout the playoffs, they had a much easier time getting to Sunday than the Chiefs did. Does that concern you at all?
Well, we can't say that because they kicked butt all year. That's why they had an easier time than getting there than the Chiefs did. Jalen Hurts, what he's accomplished, and the expectation was not for him to accomplish what he's accomplished. That's why it's unbelievable to me. And I love the kid. I love this. Everything he's been saying in the media lately, I absolutely love it. It's like he's matured as a man, and he's putting that onus on him, and he's taking more of a leadership position than I ever seen him do in college. That team is hard to beat right now. Defensively, offensively, on both sides. It's hard for me to pick against that team. I love the Chiefs and I love Mahomes, but they're lacking at receiver position. They're not going to really run the ball too much. Shoot. I don't like their defense at all. I'm going to pick the Eagles in this game. And it's not a hard thing for me to do. I'm going to pick the Eagles. I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah, you've been high on the Eagles all year. Dave, I'm sure you've seen the clips. There's been a lot of arguments about who the MVP is when it comes down to either Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes. A lot of people say we love Patrick Mahomes so much that we almost underrate him sometimes. Who would you give the MVP to, Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes?
It's a coin flip. I think Mahomes is going to win it because of the Hurts injury, which I don't know that factor in. Listen, you're not going to get – you want to get a strong argument from me against either of them. I think they're both invaluable to their team. And I don't know when they vote. Do they already vote?
Well, it's a regular season award. It's going to, the NFL honors is what, this week?
Yeah, they've already
So
voted.
it's already out. So I guess what I'm for me, and I know this isn't how it works. I would love to know the result of this football game before I maybe vote and say.
See, I'm with Dave. Dave is 100% correct. I'm with him. You can't. Okay, it's going to come down to these two. Let's just get this straight. Won't you just wait till after the game to see? And
because
not only
the
do you
odds
award
are
the
whoever
Super,
has the better game is going to win.
Is going to win. Is
So
going to win.
that's not how they do it. And as far as my pick, I don't know. I agree with Deion. Both can be true. The Eagles haven't proved anything in the postseason because I don't think the Giants are very good, and San Francisco is broken. San Francisco couldn't beat anybody with what happened. But that doesn't take away the Eagles all season put themselves in the position to have the number one seed, so they get the Giants, and then, they get fortunate. I do think watching that San Fran game, if the quarterback doesn't get hurt, that game's going to be a war because San Francisco's defense was balling in the beginning. That first drive was a drop pass and a miracle fourth down. They're getting pressure, and you just get worn out. If your offense is punting every 2 seconds, you can't do that. So I don't know what to think of Philadelphia. They're the best team in the NFC all season. Flip side, Kansas City, we're filming this is Monday. So who's playing on offense for Kansas City? Are the receivers going to be back? Because they do need that. I don't know how they escaped Cincinnati. Watching that game, I guess Mahomes, he makes a couple huge plays, the late hit. I thought Cincinnati was going to win that game, just they were healthier. This is a tough one, but I think Kansas City has a little bit of the vibe they had against almost the Bengals, that they're not getting the respect, even the line. It's like, hey, we've been here. How many times? 5 AFC championships, Mahomes. I'm taking Kansas City. Now, if they line up and nobody's playing, that may change it, but assuming they get 2 of the 3 wide receivers back, I'm going to take Kansas City. And like in that game, I think the X factor is still Kansas City's defense. Like they won them that game, and I think this could be low 20s, but I'm leaning Kansas City. I think this will be a very good game.
And Cheah, we talked a lot about the fact that Patrick Mahomes was hurt, but like Deion, you said, he's going to meet Mr. Needle. He's going to be fine. He played a really good game. Obviously, they beat the Bengals, and it was an unbelievable game. But it just felt like after the game, Cheah, that the Chiefs were the ego, which they should have, by the way. They absolutely should have. But the way that they carried themselves after it was like, holy shit, this team is not stopped yet.
Yeah, a lot of public money went directly on the Chiefs right after the game, and then we've seen the line kind of move back towards the Eagles. The Chiefs are a very good football team. They came out of the AFC, but I think for them to win this game, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to play near perfect football, whereas the Eagles are just such a complete team. Like the old adage, Offense wins games. Defense wins championships. The Eagles, by far, have the better defense.
I don't know if that's true.
The Chiefs, I believe, are like 8th in the league against the run, but I think the reason for that stat is because teams have to play catch-up against them. I mean, they've lost 3 games this season. Patrick Mahomes is putting up MVP numbers. They are going to need to stop the run on a consistent basis.
They had to put up MVP numbers because they were giving it up in the secondary, and they were giving it up defensively. He had to throw the darn ball. It's totally opposite. Total opposite.
I think these two teams are very evenly matched. Very evenly matched. But Kansas City's defense looked good against the Bengals.
I think the Eagles win by double digits.
That's crazy. That's insulting for me to be in this chair versus that. That's not happening.
That's my Dave. Those kind of comments is my Dave is back. When he says it's insulting for me to be, that's the kind of Dave-isms that I love.
That's crazy. That's just crazy. That is the stuff that Kansas City is putting on their bulletin board. That double digits. I will say this narrative, people have crowned Mahomes. You hear the Mahomes, the Brady. Mahomes loses this. He's shifted to a loser, mentality on the big stage. This will be what? His third, so he'll be 1-2. He's been in five AFC championships.
Yep.
It starts changing his. Clearly a great player, but people keep saying dynasty with the Chiefs. You have to win
You got to win
to be in that category.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about bulletin board material. Obviously, one of those things was that he had never beaten Joe Burrow. And afterwards, everybody's talking about Burrowhead, and we got those great clips from Travis Kelce. But he does have to continue to win. And so, Deion, I have to ask you, though, if they do win, where do you put Patrick Mahomes in that conversation? We know he's the greatest quarterback in the league right now, but...
Conversation of what, Kayce? Can we clarify that? What conversation of what?
Yeah, I got to hear that one.
Yeah, people are saying that he is the next Brady, that it is a dynasty.
No. That's too premature because there's still a guy named Joe Montana and Troy Aikman. Forget Brad. Don't forget Bradshaw. I mean, there's some guys got some rings now that played the game really well.
2.
Yeah, you don't throw Big Ben in here. Don't do that, Dave. Not with these guys.
With who?
Not with these guys. You can't throw Big Ben in the conversation with these guys.
No, but Big Ben would start being like Mahomes. They both got 2.
Right. But Big Ben is not on that level. Like when I mentioned the Brady's, he's not there.
So you think that a lot of the
I agree. Brady's the best of all time. 6 rings.
Yeah, he's 7, but 6 that Dave counts.
Yeah.
Dave don't give credit to the other ones.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that 7th one.
Yeah, he don't care about the other ones.
Deion, did you see that Dave and all the photoshops that he was doing, he was just crossing out either the 7th Lombardi trophy or the 7th ring. He just refuses to even show it on Twitter.
He won't accept that. He won't accept it.
That was the best one, if you ask me.
Please.
Well,
what about, you mentioned it quickly. I got to say something about the Bengals. And I like Joe Burrow. But that team, I don't know. They've been losers for 100 years in Cincinnati. The amount of trash that team and that franchise, and I don't know that it was directly come from Burrow, but he wasn't putting it away. Obviously, the Burrowhead and all this and that. It's you guys got to slow down. Yeah, your first good year was last year. Yeah, you're good and you got this quarterback, but talk about going from the lovable losers to the arrogant never winners. Holy moly, that was fast.
The mayor.
The mayor was crazy.
That's fans. I mean, that's what fans are today, especially with the social, added to it. That's what it is. That's what we've gotten to.
Well, no, I think Patriot fans, using them as an example, we were a laughingstock. The Patriots were terrible. People forget that. Prior to Parcells coming in, he kind of fixed it, and then obviously Belichick brings in Brady. We won with class and respect and dignity for the first 4. And then maybe 5 or 6, we start getting a little arrogant, but we earned that right. The Bengals haven't won dick. They're out here, Burrowhead. I mean, come on, give me a break.
You have a flamboyant quarterback. You got a receiver who's got a flash, and he has that suave. I mean, it's a new day. That's just who these guys are. That's just who they are. That's what today is. It's not like they're trying to disrespect someone. They're just being who they are. And that has won for them. Burrow was the same way in LSU. I mean, you got to give it to the guy. He's been consistent.
I like Burrow, but to say you're not disrespecting anybody by calling the stadium Burrowhead, that is disrespectful.
It was, and it backfired. I mean, tremendously. Like I said earlier, like it was the bulletin board material that the Chiefs could just. I mean, it was a layup for them to take that, Deion. I mean, you're right. Everybody does it. But when it backfires bad.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy that had the late hit. I really do. I really do. Because when it happened, I was like, oh, it's over. You know it's over. The game's over.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I
on
agree.
him. Yeah, it's over. I feel bad for him.
I hated that they kept showing him on the sideline. I know that that's what they felt like they had to do at the time, but I was just like, come on, man, get the camera off this kid. Like, he feels so bad. And as a coach, I'm sure you're looking at it just like, what can you even say to him in the moment to make him feel better?
You
because,
messed up.
You're talking about the late hit?
You messed up.
Yeah,
the late hit.
Yeah, that's one of those things for me. Like, it's frustrating as a fan, but that's. I don't even say that's a mental mistake. You maybe a Deion as a coach would be, but that to me is the game is on the line. He's giving it. He's going 110 miles per hour. That's it's unfortunate, but that's not as a fan or any. That's just sucks. But I don't know what else you can do about it. That was almost he's going 110. That's how I view it. Some late hits. You're like, what the hell are you doing?
Certain players
he had 2
have
feet
that
out of
in him.
bounds.
Yeah, as a coach, certain players have that in them, that they could make a bonehead mistake like that. And I guarantee you it wasn't the first time. Hopefully it's the last time. But that stuff is in you to do. Certain people just don't do stuff like that. Certain people do stuff like that. He was one of those guys that I'm pretty sure that is capable of doing something like that. That's why his teammates reacted the way they did.
Yeah, it sucks. Seeing
I feel
it in the
bad
locker
for
room
him, I
after.
really do.
Yeah, it'd feel bad. So speaking of coaching, Deion, obviously one of the storylines for this game too is Andy Reid, because he was with Philly for so long and now is with the Chiefs. I know that you're taking over the coaching world right now, but as a head coach, I mean, how much do you think that plays into it? Does it at all at this point? Because it's been 10 years since he's been in Philly.
Yeah, because the experience is everything. It's gonna come a time in this game when you're going to have to make a call. And Andy Reid's going to look at Bieniemy. He's going to look at Andy Reid, and they're going to say, we've been here before. We're not going, we got this. And they've done it before, and they know the personnel. You trust the head coach, you trust the OC, you trust the quarterback, and you trust Travis Kayce. Okay? That's it. And you know where the ball is going. That's just how it happens. If we're going to lose, let's take a shot at it with our best guys.
And not to sidebar, but Deion, punting from the 40 ain't going to work in the Pac-12. So I want you to follow your
how
own
did we
advice
get there, Dave?
You knew
Dave,
it was
how did
coming.
we get there?
You knew it was
how
coming.
did we get here? We've been great, but how did we divert from punting for the 40?
I'm going to be on your side, but I'm just saying it's a different league now.
I know. I got a good guy. I got a guy from Louisville that's really good. That's a really good punter. Really good punter too. He's really good.
You know what? If he's on the field more than 3 times a game, I don't even care. He can go on the field, but not on plus territory. On plus territory, send him back to the locker room, keep him warm, keep his hands warm because it is going to be cold.
I mean, Deion, did you actually think we were
going
to
to
get through a show?
It's only going to be cold at the very end, maybe the last game of the season in November. Other than that, we're good.
I mean, you couldn't have thought we were
because my Florida boys are listening.
Scheming things up. He better be like Rex Ryan, Buddy Ryan, this whole, because you got those 2 corners. You got to lock them down, and then you got to bring 9, basically.
There's a lot of truth to what you're saying.
He's been waiting to talk to you about that. He's, he hasn't been on the show again.
There's a lot of truth to what he's saying. It's so funny. I just on my way here, I was talking to the DC, and he just showed me some stuff. That's why it's funny to me. I just stopped in the defensive room, and they was just going over some stuff, and I was like, hey, man, just lock them up and do your thing. I just said that.
That's it. Who was the old Pittsburgh defensive coordinator who was there for 100 years?
Oh, Dick LeBeau.
Dick LeBeau.
LeBeau.
We just bring people from every angle. That's what we're going to be doing.
There you go.
Cheah, have you sent Deion any plays recently? I know you were doing that for a little bit.
Not since the last time we taped, but the offensive coordinator is Big Cat's buddy. So I'm working on the back door.
Kent State. So he likes him. He likes him.
Yeah, and Deion, you've said,
go.
I mean, Dan's like a celebrity already down there anyway, so you might as well just have the whole crew there.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Barstool's is huge. As a matter of fact, my sons met the guys from Barstool that runs the social, the Twitter as well as the Instagram. So and they've been balling. They've been doing their thing.
Yeah, the Viceroys have been having fun. I mean, like Dave said earlier in the show, you're everywhere right now. You're every headline, so it's easy to do. But a lot of attention, I think, will probably be down there. Before we get out of this, though, we do have to do an I believe. So again, it's Deion's slogan. You take it everywhere you go, as well you should. Stephen Cheah, I will start with you. What do you hashtag I believe for this game between the Chiefs and the Eagles?
Yep. I believe the Eagles win by double digits. With Jalen Hurts at quarterback, they're scoring 29.5 points a game. They're a team, and this is big in the playoffs. If you can generate pressure with your front four, you're likely to win the game. And the Eagles have been doing that all playoffs and all season long. They do not need to blitz to generate pressure. I expect Patrick Mahomes and his ankle to be okay, but I think the Eagles are going to be able to get home with 4, and it's going to make it so much harder. It doesn't even matter who's playing receiver. They don't have good receivers, even if they are healthy outside of Travis Kayce. I think the Eagles blow them out. Give me the Eagles 10 points.
Dave?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I will say what he just said is not really just for playoff football or if you can get home without having to bring anybody but your front four, you win most games. That is probably the most true thing in the history. I don't care how good you are. If your front four destroy you, you win. So I don't need Stephen Cheah and his data to tell me if you get home with front four, you're in good shape.
So you believe that, and you like Kayce?
Did you? Yeah. Well, did you see how many sacks did Kayce have against Mahomes? I don't.
They're playing against third-string offensive linemen.
Yeah. Well, they look pretty good against the Bills. Got quiet there.
I take the Eagles offensive line.
All right. My belief,
Shut him up
real
real quick.
simply, is my belief is the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think they're due. I think they have that edge, that chip on their shoulder. I think it's helpful that nobody's picking them. But I really think it's going to be a close game. I think Kelsey's going to go off, and I think Mahomes finds a way to win.
All right, Deion, what's your last I believe of this season, which is crazy to say that we're already here.
To win this game, I would double Kelsey and deal with the other guys one-on-one. I got to double Kelsey because Mahomes going to go to him too thick and too thin. And they got to be able to run the ball. That's what Kansas City got to do, but they don't want to do it. This is what I believe. The rules should be changed. Like Dave and I said, I believe the winner of this game should be the MVP. It's going to be bad if the MVP of the league wins on Thursday night, the MVP award, then they go and stank it up during the game. It's going to be a bad look for the NFL. It's going to be a bad look for everybody. And they got to reconsider. If it comes down to it, they just need to hold on for a couple more days and give the MVP out the same day of the game if the two guys are participating in the game. That's come down to the final two.
Because
it should be a
Deion's
change
right.
of rules.
I know they say it's a regular season award, but it devalues it. You have a guy like Lamar Jackson who becomes an MVP and can't win a game in the playoffs. And then you have guys running around on TV being like Lamar Jackson is an MVP winner. But is he an MVP? Really, in the true sense of the word.
Right. It's sort of like you got guys that makes $200-some million quarterbacks. You reward them a huge contract and they stank it up in the playoffs. Then you got a guy sitting up there that can't get a dime. You start thinking like, why did they give this guy that kind of money? You got to wait. What we're saying is you got to wait and just see how it all plays out.
Deion, you know that he had to bring up Lamar Jackson just one more time for this
Oh,
season.
he had to.
Listen, we got a tweet. Hey, fellas, you may be right about Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to say who authored that, but there was one that was sent this season.
I was mad. He had a bad game. I was mad. I was upset, and I did send it to him. I was upset. And then when he didn't come back for the entire rest of the season, but I will thank them. They was gracious. They didn't pour it on. They didn't jump on me because he didn't return for the rest of the season. They just let it play out.
It's probably because Dave wasn't on the show, though. I mean, you know that if he was on the show, you would have had to hear about it probably a little bit more.
Oh, my God. It was a bit of murder.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this now for 3 seasons, and that is a theme.
You got
that
a nice
I feel like
tan,
we'll
too,
never go away.
Dave.
What's
That is
that?
a nice tan. You got a nice tan,
I do.
too.
Well, yeah, Miami. I make sure to get the vitamin D.
All right, so that finishes this
I'm going to let that go.
Yeah. Big of you, Deion. Very big of you to let that one go. So anything else, guys? I mean, I can't believe we've done another season of this, 3 seasons of this show together. I know, like we mentioned, Dan is doing some branded stuff. He has the Eagles, as we know, but just a crazy season. And Deion, you've been killing it, but another season in the books for us.
Love it. I'm going to try to bump into you. Where are you guys at in Arizona?
No, we're here.
Yeah, you guys somewhere. You're going to be in the Radio Row, I'm pretty sure.
No, you think I'm allowed on Radio Row?
Oh, I forgot. Oh, my God. I forgot you showed me the video. I forgot. Yeah, but you guys are bigger than that anyway. You usually do your own thing in a hotel or something somewhere.
Yeah,
You guys are somewhere.
We have a bar. We own our own bar here. So we're doing radio there 5 to 7 every day, Monday through Friday, and then we got this house. So, yeah.
Okay,
we'll be
well,
around,
I got to drop by.
I won't be on any sanction. If you need credentials, I won't be there.
Okay. That's it. I
That's
remember
that's
they
the
dragged
rule
him
of
out.
Yeah,
I remember the drag out when he went limp, when his legs
Yeah.
went limp. That was the best ever.
I mean, yeah, it was 4 years ago. The anniversary was the other day, and he posted all the videos, and it's just still so crazy that Roger Goodell is like,
hilarious.
"Oh, we don't know who Barstool is." It's like,
Yeah,
come on,
he-
yes, you do.
he's one of the great friends
Yeah, they
of
do.
all time.
All right, well,
They
thanks
do.
everybody for paying attention and watching this season. Have a great Sunday, and we will be back next season. Deion, Dave, Stephen, Cheah, have fun. And
Can I hit you with one, I believe, before we leave?
Of course,
Yeah,
you
then
give
we
it
can
to
all
me.
go.
This is going to be good.
I believe now that we have gotten our defensive coordinator out of our offensive coordinator, we have a real offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. Mac Jones, Pro Bowl next year. Patriots win the AFC East. I will leave that as my I believe for next year.
We'll revisit that in August or September. So not so bad. A lot of
start.
months. All right, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.